All right, so welcome to Game Clubs. We have a special guest today. Russ Lyman's here, which means one of two things. Either we're playing Mario or we're building something.
Or we're building Mario.
Or we're building a Mario.
Cross it over. But we're building something today.
So this is going to be a really, really straightforward controller mod. I was playing a lot lately, and I finally burnt out one of my thumbsticks. And instead of, kind of just dealing with it or getting one of those pads to stick over it.
Those going to kind of be annoying.
Yeah, they sell really inexpensive, button replacement kits online. You can get this just about anywhere. I got mine on Amazon.
And you can choose different colors.
All different colors. I went with white because I think that goes pretty good with the monochrome color scheme on the gray one. But you can get whatever you want. And there's going to be some pieces we're not going to use today because the default main button, they just give us solid white, which isn't really...
it's not as cool.
Yeah, it's not. So I'm gonna leave some of these the same and change a few. So we're gonna swap some of the buttons out. It's a really simple mod, but if you haven't done it before, it might be a little tricky. And then we're also going to change some of the LEDs in the center to match the new color scheme.
I guess like these ones here would light up like a green, so we're gonna change it to a white. Yeah.
All right. So to start with, we have a couple things you'll need: a soldering iron for our LEDs. We shouldn't need too much solder, but we're going to have a little bit on the standby. There should be enough on the board to work with. The finest tweezers you can find, but the smaller the better on these, because these are the LEDs that we're going to be working with. And you're going to get a close-up of this, but they're incredibly small. And then when you order your parts kit, it should come with a Torx screwdriver that's got an indent for it for the security key.
I got you.
But if not, I think you guys sell these, right?
If it's a... is it a tri-wing?
Yeah. Or no, that's the Nintendo one. This is just a Torx screw.
And we do not have those at the store.
So
but check your local Harbor Freight or Home Depot.
Harbor Freight is an awesome, reliable place for oddball tools on the cheap. So, there's going to be a handful of screws in the back of the controller that you're going to want to remove.
Yeah.
Starting with these outside ones. And just kind of work your way around. And then there's a hidden one right here. And then once you break that security seal, that's sort of like the Microsoft warranty, it's been tampered with.
Gotcha.
So
we're popping the seal cherry right now.
Seals under the barcode, yeah. And always remember, if it never force this. If it's not coming apart, then you've missed something. It should just easily separate. Okay.
The inner workings.
All right, so now we get to choose. I think I'm going to change the triggers on this. What do you think, white or black? The white triggers will.
They'll pop out a little bit better against that black contrast.
Uniform.
Give it that Stormtrooper feel.
There you go. All right, so your rumble motors are going to be plugged into these two DC ports, so you can just go ahead and remove those. They should just pop off very easily. They are different weights, so you're going to want to remember which one goes
on
back
which side,
which side, yeah. So just keep them separated right and left.
Staying organized is the key.
Yeah. Okay, so from here you're going to want to flip it over. From the outside, you're going to just push. I find it easiest in the center button just to kind of release the board, and then just guide the thumbsticks through as well. And you're going to lose a handful of buttons.
So that's fine. We're replacing them.
Exactly. Just try to keep track of those. So I'm going to keep my old buttons separate from my new. I'm going to leave the D-pad because this is one of the adjustable D-pads, and that's not provided on the kit. I think they just give you the generic one.
I got you. You could also take this time too, where you can see there's also some like gunk buildup around it. If you wanted to take it to the sink and get a toothbrush and kind of clean it up like that, that's the time to do it.
Isn't it amazing how disgusting your controllers get with time? Just like no matter what controller I've ever disassembled, you know, and working
human slime, it builds up.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so the next step, we're just going to remove the thumbsticks, and that's as easy as just pulling off. And those are gone.
Boom.
And then there's a controller pad here which registers the button presses. So we're just going to remove that and keep that in a safe place.
Yeah, it's just laid right over to the circuit board.
Yep.
So.
All right, so let's try to get in here to show you. These are the LEDs that we're going to be replacing. So that is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And actually, that's technically 1, I guess. They are numbered. So those are the LEDs that we're going to try to replace. I like how I use the word try.
We're professionals, we swear.
So these are our replacements. We're going to try to make sure that we have enough working room in here. I'm going to leave the triggers on for now. You might want to remove those if you find that you're running out of space. Okay. So these are our LEDs. And as a note, be extremely careful when you open the package, because if you lose one of these, it's lost forever.
Super fine, small LEDs.
Now we will at some point have to use the battery pack to make sure that these connections are good. But I'm just going to go ahead and touch my soldering iron to the corner of each LED just to kind of loosen it. Okay, so if you're having a hard time getting the LEDs off without desoldering them, get a little bit of desoldering wick and place that over the edges of the LED, and then just press down to heat up the solder.
Soldering wick should absorb the solder, releasing
it should, hopefully,
the surface mount LED. In theory.
Oops. Okay, that's one. Now, and then once you put your new LED on the board, just sort of move it into place until you see it light up so that you know you have a solid connection. You might need to add a tiny little bit of solder. I just saw a little bit of a flash there, so I'm just going to keep playing with it. Alright, so once you have your LEDs soldered and the connections are good and you get a flashing light out of them, you're ready to reassemble it. And we're going to leave ours with this really cool 1-to-1 LED combo,
yeah,
which
half
is
white, half green.
Yeah, half white, half green. Has everything to do with us thinking that it was a really cool color setup,
yeah,
and almost nothing to do with us losing an LED.
But we're professionals, and we wouldn't do that.
Right, we wouldn't have done that. But as a note, you would probably want to make sure that when you open this little package, that you have a clean work environment and that they don't go flying everywhere, because they are prone to do that.
So order a few, just to be safe.
Yeah, order a second set, because honestly, I think these were 65 cents and the shipping was $3. So,
you
might
as well buy like 6 or 7 if you're paying more in shipping.
Yeah, exactly. You might as well get the shipping cost to equal it. So we're going to go ahead and take our battery pack off now, and we're going to remove the
circuit board there.
Little board again.
Replace the trigger buttons.
Yep, because that's what we're going to do next, and then we're going to proceed with everything else. So.
It's a flathead, tiny flathead.
Yeah. These are little tweezers. And then you also want to do the same thing, just sort of bending this plastic over here to glide the trigger out of the assembly. There's a spring in here, so be careful you don't lose that. And then once that's free, you can simply remove the actual trigger. And we're going to put our
And then note that on the actual triggers, it says left trigger. So then you want to immediately replace it with the correct left trigger. As not to confuse them.
Alright, so an easier method actually is going to be you're going to want to take this hook and insert it into the outside edge of the trigger first, and then glide the other one on top, like so. Then insert your spring here. And make sure that the other half of it catches on top of the catch for it here. And then just simply guide it past until it connects into place. And then raise your trigger catch over here, whatever this piece is called.
Yeah, like a trigger arm or something like that, I would call it.
Until the whole thing is reassembled.
Bada bing.
Oh, we could just leave it black and white. That's kind of cool.
It's all up to you.
There you go. Alright, so I think most of the hard stuff's behind us now. So we're going to just go ahead and grab the base of our controller and then start reassembling it with whatever parts that we desire. So I think I'm going to change the face of mine over to this white.
Okay.
Now I'm going to leave the black button off of this though. So there's a bit, if you can see in here, see that little tension?
Yeah.
Yep. They provide you with a newer one of those for the white one, which simply kind of like snaps onto place actually. So I think I'm going to simply put that over there. But I think I'm going to leave mine, like I said, with the black. So I'm going to pop that out of the old one. So we're just going to put the thumbsticks back on now. And these aren't necessarily, they're not relative to left and right, but there is only a certain way that it can be inserted on the thumbstick. So you just want to make sure that that slides on effortlessly.
So there's no way you can mess this up.
I wouldn't say about no way.
No possible way.
I'm going to push down just with a little bit of pressure.
Let's see here, line this guy up. Ready to rock.
Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and connect our motors again. Actually, scratch that, we're going to do that last.
Okay.
Yeah, the right one is on the big one. In case you've accidentally mixed up your motors, the heavier one goes on the right side. So we're going to put our D-pad back in place. And the rest of the work we'll be doing on the actual front face of the controller.
It's pretty much drag and drop. You're just dropping the buttons in.
Yep.
And they just fall right in there. Does it not tell you? I guess it doesn't.
No, it's you'll have to memorize the order or grab another controller for reference, but it'll be A, Y, and then X on the inside, B on the outside. They should actually only fit in a certain way though, if I'm correct. There you go.
You just can kind of spin it till it drops in. Like a little anchor point or something that it would go in. Yeah.
And just take your time, make sure everything lines up. Most of these kits are pretty well designed, but some of them might have a bit of a gap. So just, make sure you read the reviews when ordering one online so that everything fits up pretty well.
Of course, when you're tightening everything together, it's gonna, minus that gap.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Okay, so the last thing you want to do is just make sure that you have good reset on all your buttons, especially the shoulder buttons. On my particular kit, my replacement shoulder buttons weren't molded correctly, so I had to put the originals back in order to get them to function properly.
Right.
So.
Sometimes you get into that, and like I said, if you want it perfect fitment, change of color, you could always paint the original parts.
So I'm going to put, and then when reassembling, don't ever tighten the screws all the way down. And I'm going to reassemble, jumping from side to side.
Much like when you're tightening lug nuts on a tire, you don't want to go like clockwise, you want to alternate.
And that way you're evenly tightening the pressure on the controller. So. Couple more to go. We'll go ahead and put our battery pack back in.
Make sure everything lights up.
And make sure we've got lights.
I think the white ones are pretty dim.
Yeah, they're a little dimmer. All right.
All right, guys. Well, that's how you pretty much customize an Xbox 360 controller. Like Mike said, options are pretty much endless. You can get all different colors for trigger buttons. You could probably order a few different kits and put them all together. Maybe do a patriotic one with red, white, and blue.
There you go.
But yeah, it's pretty easy. Hopefully that helps you out in case you were scared diving into it and not knowing what to do. We gave you the step-by-steps. Obviously, it depends on what tools you have. Will make the project easier or harder. So maybe I'll swing by, Mike, and do some Nintendo controllers with you.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks for branching out and jumping into some of the newer stuff. And thanks for swinging by. Make sure to give us a like and a sub.
That's right. And if you guys aren't already on the forum for GameClubs, be sure to visit that.
Yeah, you can find us at GameClubs.org. And jump on and play a couple games with us every month. And then you can find Russ on his channel.
That's right. Just Russ Lyman. Easy enough.
All right, and you can find us at GameClubs TV. So thanks for watching.
And we'll see you guys next video.